This is Yokayi Footy.
What a year it's been here on Yokayi Footy. I've actually got to watch that clip next time before I say that's okay, because I reckon everyone else had a highlight except for me.
Your hair was a bit of a highlight there.
That was unbelievable. It's been such a joy bringing you Yokayi Footy this year, and we've loved having you along the way the whole time. But what a treat we've got for you. We've got an absolute superstar in the studio. Please welcome three-time premiership hero from the Richmond Footy Club, who was at the Essendon Footy Club before that. I speak, of course, of Bachar Houli. Bachar, thank you for joining us here on Yokayi Footy.
Thanks for having me. It's taken a few weeks, but we're finally here at probably the most important week of the year.
Exactly right. Now, we'll get straight into it, brother. Who's your mob and where are you from?
So I'm born in Australia.
Yeah.
In Australia,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And my parents were born in Lebanon, so they migrated to Australia in the 70s to give us a better lifestyle. Of course, I wasn't born at the time in the 70s. Otherwise, I could have two birth certificates.
Yeah.
I've had this beer since I was 3 years old. Put it this way.
Brother,
That's remarkable.
brother, you look like me. You'd be grey on your bed.
Yeah, I'm a little bit grey, trying to hide it underneath. But yeah, so parents migrated here from Lebanon, and yeah, happy to call Australia home.
Nice.
Beautifully said there, Bachar. You might hear a little bit of noise here. There's the bands and the performers for the grand final practicing here. So, you mob, you just want to keep it down a bit? Yeah, no, all sorted. They'll be right. Got them sorted. But Bachar, a lot of the time on Yokayi Footy here, we speak about safe cultural spaces, and I'd just be interested how Richmond was able to create that for yourself.
Oh, mate, Richmond Football Club was, outstanding when it came to culture and people from different walks of life, I guess. I think now we've got 8 or 9 Indigenous players and many players from a multicultural background as well. So I think in 2017 there was about 30% of the list that came from a multicultural background, and obviously the Indigenous space as well. So. They treated us like royalty, probably too well. Yeah, so privileged to be involved in such a club that values people from different walks of life and accepted me for who I am. And I think it's a message for everyone out there that you might have different values in your life, but it's important to be yourself, stay true to your colours, and show respect to people, and you'll get that respect in return.
Hey, Bachar, great to see you, my brother, and thanks for coming on the Yokayi Footy show. And I just love the way you go about it, brother, with your footy, but not just on the field. What you do off the field, you're just an amazing person. I can feel your spirit. I can feel it, brother. You're such a strong person. 2017, can you remember 2017, September? Grand final?
Grand final, yeah.
Yeah, well, you should have won the Norm Smith medal that day because you had something like 25 disposals, 10 marks, 5 tackles, and you've even, that goal you kicked, to finish it off with. Yeah. Brother, you should have a Norm Smith hanging over you, around you, I reckon.
Mate, if I had $1 for everyone that's mentioned that, I'd probably be richer than Dustin Martin right now, put it this way. So yeah. He robbed me a few dollars for the Norm Smith, but no, I'm so happy that the fact that he's won it, because he's topped it up with 2 others and has made history, and no one, I don't think, is ever going to probably beat that. 3 Norm Smiths and every other medal that exists out there. So yeah.
That's far too nice of an answer, mate. You're out of the game now. I just hit the knife into the back.
Well, the reality is it's happened. I can't bring back that moment.
That's
so
true. That
just
is
accept
true.
it, be humble by it, and no, he deserved it. He actually deserved it. He's just absolutely a star.
He is a star, and you're showing us why you're such a star as well. Back to what Gilly started touching on, your work within the community. Tell us a little bit about that for those who aren't across it.
Like you said, there's people out there that probably don't know what I do off field, and it's a massive part of my life about giving back. And I'm sure there's so many great AFL footballers out there and people in the community that do things beyond themselves and think about others. So 2012 we established the Bachar Houli Academy, in this great place here, the AFL house, that created an opportunity for me to give back from a multicultural perspective. And I focus on my time working with young Muslim boys and girls, and helping them to become something special in their life. Not to say I'm special or anything, but just teaching them a thing or two about life. And I'm not the probably most educated person, but I feel like through my journey of the AFL, I've got a lot of experience to offer, and just trying to instill leadership in them, being proud of their identity as proud Australian Muslims. So many things that we're there to teach them and to offer them, and hopefully they can implement that in their life, because we just got to continue to think beyond our little square that we live in and help others feel part of this great society that we live in.
You're doing amazing work, and it is such an honour to have you on the show and to meet you as well. Now, I've got a really serious question for you. I loved your Brownlow interview. They asked you a serious question about your fishing, and you didn't want to let up your secret spot. Now, we've found some vision of you actually fishing at your secret spot. Talk us through this. What's going on here?
COVID. It's brought the absolute best out of everyone, this COVID. I think that was a time when our good old friend Dan Andrews was didn't let us leave our back door. So obviously my boat was parked in the back. That's an old one. Now I've got a yacht.
With all the money.
So yeah, obviously it's just bit of banter, you know what I mean? Bit of for the fans.
Hey, Bash, I want to ask you a serious question because I think it's something you should do and you should consider, because I look at Michael Long and what a trailblazer he's been for our mob, and the great Maurice Rioli and all the Cracker brothers and what they've done. When I look at you, I see you as a pioneer, like those guys. And I see what you've done and what you've created. And then you look at Saad, he plays at Carlton. Saad, and the influence you've had on those type of players, because there's no doubt that that's how we've got so many Indigenous players in the competition today. Yeah. I see Bachar Houli doing the same thing. You've got the academy. Yeah. You want to create coaches of your culture so that we can get more of your culture into the AFL. Yeah. Brother, it'll happen, I know. Have you laid the groundwork for it yet?
I think I have, and you know what? It hasn't come off my own back. We've looked at pioneers such as Michael Long and what he's been able to create, for all these foundations. There's so many great Indigenous players that are creating such foundations and a platform for.
But we started with nothing, like yourself.
Yeah. So, and I'll be honest, like I said, if it wasn't for Michael Long, I probably won't be where I am right now, because, and we're always going back and looking at what these great players have done for the game and what they're doing off field. And, like you said, it's so important that our legacy doesn't just stop there. We need to continue it and continue.
That's why we need you, and your people need you.
Well, that's it. I mean, one player now in the AFL. Adam Saad left as a Muslim player in the AFL, but obviously I come from a Muslim background, but I love to see people from all walks of life who, I guess, are the minority in the community, in society, give it a go, because our game is such a wonderful game. And you know what?
You're such a wonderful person. You're a humanitarian. It's not just about you or your culture. It's about a human race, Bruss. You make me get emotional.
I get emotional talking about it as well, because I see so much talent out there from people from even the African background. You see, how they're starting to pop up now and play some great football. And you see Leah, Mabior Chol, who, these type of players make you feel proud. And we come from a great, a great background that we just want to contribute to society. And football is the best way to do it. Hey, it accepts people from all walks of life. It's the best code in the world, I would say.
Absolutely, very important work, and blazing the trail. Now, we've got some more Yokayi after the break, of course, and Bachar is going to stick around. But first, here's Andy with Bulldogs young gun Jamara Ugle-Hagan and midfield star Jack McRae.
So we have been fortunate enough to have Jack McRae and Jamara Ugle-Hagan join us here on Yokayi Footy. Thank you very much, gents, for joining the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So, Jack, you had a 40-possession game with no Brownlow votes. Did the umpires get your number wrong there, mate?
I might need to get a new haircut or something maybe next year in a few of those games. But at least I was happy. Bolton was obviously right up there, and I'd rather be in a great team than winning Brownlows or worrying about Brownlow votes.
So, Jack, in your opinion, are the best two midfields in the comp playing against each other this Saturday?
You'd probably have to say. They're probably two standout midfields as a group. Obviously, they've got some terrific players going through there in the midfield, as well as obviously probably the best ruckman in the comp. So it's going to be a great battle, and I think every week the midfield battle goes a long way in deciding who wins.
And Jamara, describe Luke Beveridge's influence on you since you arrived at the club.
It's been pretty tough at the start of the year, where he's just wants what's best for me. Obviously, coming in as a young fella, was pretty hard to see where he was coming from, which was my fitness on the field. So just building my tank, I just had to have the patience to understand that I'm going to be a better footballer and a player on and off the field if I just take my time and develop on little things such as obviously my tank on the field.
What are you both looking forward to the most, obviously, throughout the week and then obviously the game on the weekend? So what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's just exciting training. Everyone's excited, kicking the new footies in as well, and just being around the atmosphere. There's always big crowds that come to the training. So just enjoy the build-up, and probably for me, the most exciting part is probably when the national anthem finishes and the siren goes and the crowd roars.
No, beautifully said, Jack and Jamara. We greatly appreciate you guys giving your time to Yokayi Footy. Obviously, it's a very busy week. Yeah, hopefully you get the guys get the chockies. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having us.
Welcome back. Now, just in case the Bulldogs needed any extra motivation, this week here's comedian Fabian Woods with a rev up.
Bulldogs, back in the GF, baby, where we belong. By this time, it's in the West, so let's grab it from the West and bring it back home to the West. Got to stay focused and fire up, especially you, Bevo. Remember last grand final, Mr. Too Laid Back? Didn't even want your medal. You gave it to some old dude named Bob. What the hell, man? Tom Liberatore, I need you to straighten up your kicks, mate, because at the moment, they resemble your tattoos inconsistently everywhere. Aaron Trelaw, how do you feel? A lot better than them pies. They fought Trelaw and Trelaw won. Caleb Daniel, I need you to lift your chair up when I speak to you. Good luck in your Auskick grand final on Saturday, mate. You do your best there. Lockie Hunter, I need you to be Lockie Hunter and gatherer. I need you to gather those possessions, but I don't want any witchy grubbers. Stephen Martin, listen, mate, stay on your man. If you don't, you'll be gone. You'll be Max gone. Let's go, Bulldog. Let's give him hell. Roof, 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 roof.
Those doggies, I reckon, are going to come out snarling. But good news for Melbourne fans, Fabian's coaching for both sides.
Come on, Demons. 57 years is a long time. Obviously, you have to do it without Nathan Jones, your inspirational leader. Just had twins. Congratulations, mate. So that will make them 2 years younger than Jake Bowie. Whoa. All the stars are lining up. Mark McGowan's opened up the borders, especially for Ben Brown, mate. You mark that ball, you go back to Kalgoorlie, you have a shot, ping it straight through. If you need any inspiration, think of Luke Jackson's teeth, all right? You spit straight through that there. If it falls short, Kaiser, pick it up, kick a goal. Ed Langdon, listen, mate, surely you've done losing at this Oval. I know you've lost a lot of games at Dockers, but we need this one. Clayton Oliver, if you want the Norm Smith medal, you need to think about Brownlow medal night, all right? Stop passing to Petrarca. Bailey Smith. Now, I'm hearing whispers that Bailey Smith has got ice in his veins. That's pretty cool, but it's nothing cooler than a fridge, all right? So, boys, let's go out there and let's have a Simon Goodwin. Let's go!
I think we might see the best grand final of the last 50 years with a rev up like that. And speaking of the grand final, it is time for our very first grand final review of the year. Now, hopefully our only one, because of course we've got a huge game between the D's and the Dogs this weekend over in Perth. Massive game coming up. Basher, you've obviously played against both of these sides. How do you see it playing out?
I think it's going to be a nice, tough challenge for, obviously, it's going to be a good game. Both teams have won one game each during the season, and it's been pretty close. So it can go either way. I think the favourites are Melbourne, but probably just, but I can see the Bulldogs just being the underdogs, similar to us in 2017, and working their magic and bringing the cup back to the West, from the West.
From the West to the West, from the West. We don't know what's going on. Someone who's not in the West, he's actually up north, is DJ. How do you see this one playing out?
Oh, look, I think both teams are evenly matched, especially the midfield. Both have midfield goal-kicking midfielders. Look, round 11, as you see there, was Demons by 28 points and the Doggies by 20. So not much in these teams. I think both backlines play really well. Both midfields get back hard and push back hard. I think it's going to come down to a forward on the day. Don't know who from both sides who can stand up and maybe kick a bag and win a Norm Smith medal and get their team over the line.
We'll actually go over to the West, DJ. That was brilliantly summed up. Crack. There's a fair bit going on in that midfield, isn't there? But for our both sides.
Yeah, TA, you're absolutely spot on, you mate. Mate, you got Viney, Petrarca, Gawn, Oliver, Langdon running around the wings as well for the Melbourne Footy Club, and then also for the Dogs, you've got McRae, Bont, Bailey Smith sort of flicking in there as well. And Caleb Daniels' ball use, I think, coming out of the back half is something Melbourne's going to really have to look into, because once he gets the footy in his hands, he sets up the ball so well. He kicks it to where people are, and they just link up, and it just opens the game right up. So I'll really be interested in see how Josh Shackey goes as well. Obviously, last week he played an amazing role on Alia, who we know is an amazing intercept marked, and he's an All-Australian backman. So it'll be interesting to see who he goes on, possibly Lever or May. But there's absolutely stars all across the field. It's going to be an in-tight, contested game, but to be able to get to see who wins it there, I think that's where the game's going to be won, because once teams get the hold of the footy, they use it really well, and they've got some really, really damaging forwards that are able to kick a lot of goals.
Beautifully said there, Crack. I thought you were getting on top of that entertainment out there, mate. Tell them to keep it down for us when we come back to you next time. Gilly, what's your take from this weekend's match?
Oh, look, it's going to be a game of... It's going to be a high-scoring grand final. Grand finals, you don't have high-scoring grand finals. Sometimes you kick 10, 12 goals. That's going to win you a grand final most years, I reckon. I reckon this year, Basher, I reckon they're going to have to kick 15 goals, because these two sides are capable of kicking 20. I know it's a grand final and they won't kick... You wouldn't think they'd kick 20 in a grand final, because the game in a final seems to be a bit more defensive than attacking. I just see a shootout, and I honestly feel Melbourne are going to win the shootout, and I'm going to tip them to win by 10 points. And my Norm Smith medal, Oliver, should have almost won the Brownlow, so I think he'll be saying to himself, I didn't get the Brownlow.
He'll be hungry for it.
So Demons by 10, Oliver with the Norm Smith. Basher, tip, margin, Norm Smith.
Doggies by 16, Bontempelli for Norm Smith. What was the last one?
And margin. Oh, no, you've got...
I mentioned it, no?
You've got it. Yeah, perfect.
Doggies and Bontempelli.
Yeah, beautifully done. Crack?
Melbourne, 14 points. Christian Salem, Norm Smith medal.
I noticed he didn't get on top of that noise there for us, Bella, but beautifully said. TJ?
The Doggies for me, I said whoever win out the Lions and the Dogs will go on and win it. So by 17 points, and Bailey Smith will have ice in his veins.
Beautifully done, Megsy.
I've definitely caught the Demon fever here in Melbourne, so I'm going to say the D's, 2 goals, and I'm going to go Cozzy Pickett for the Norm.
Beautifully done, Basher. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, and congrats on the career too.
No worries. Thanks for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.